Hello everybody, welcome to my Chocobo farming guide. We are on the Archive Steppe. This is the only place in the game where you're going to be able to do this at. It's a very, very interesting way to make cash, you know, a little different from the other ways that you would typically be able to make money in this game. Now, a couple of things that you have to know is it's best to have a bunch of the marks done beforehand, in order to even unlock the Chocobos. You have to have the 14th mark mission completed, and as well as some other ones, just because, you know, you can't jump right to number 14. So I think you got to do mark 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 12, 13, and 14. In addition to that, I believe, if I remember correctly, you're going to want to have mark 17 done as well. Just because that opens up a teleport location at the north end of the Archive Steppe. And the reason for that is because if you don't have that unlocked, you'll have to do a lot of backtracking, or you'll have to save and reload your game in order to make the next set of treasure hunting treasures appear again. So you know, again, I recommend having those marks done. Now this is the route that I take. I really like this route just because it gets a good portion of the possible treasure locations covered, and you know, there isn't any backtracking, and you know, once we get to the end, what we'll end up doing actually is just teleporting right back to the beginning, and then we can just start over. So obviously here we finally are running across one. Now, the other thing I kind of want to mention here is that there are a certain set of treasures that are kind of like one-time treasures, and those are at certain milestones, I'll call it. Let's see what we get here. Alright, so we got a chunk of cobaltite, obviously a transformation item. Now, again, so there was one-time treasures, and I'm just going to go over those real quick. The very first time you do a treasure hunt, you'll always get a gold nugget. That'll always be your first treasure. On your 5th treasure, it will be a tetratic crown. Your 10th treasure will be a tetratic tiara. 15th treasure will be an entite ring, and the 20th will be a ribbon. That is the complete list of the one-time treasures. And let's see what we get here. Entite rings. Okay, so this is a footage of me getting my 15th treasure. So there you have it. That's a perfect example of a one-time treasure. Now, that being said, once you get all of your one-time treasures, so once you get your ribbon, basically that list is done, and you will only always get from the unlimited treasure table, I suppose you could say, and those will be a millerite, rhodochrosite, cobaltite, chocobo plume, chocobo tail feather, gold dust, dawnlight dew, dustlight dew, gold nugget, mugo puppet, and a plush chocobo. It seems to me, anyway, that the more expensive items are more rare. So just keep that in mind. Alright, and here we are using the teleporter to teleport back to the entrance, or to the, the central part of the Archive Steppe. And this is needed to respawn the treasures. So what that means is basically every time you teleport, you know, from one spot here to the next, or if you save your game and reload, or if you leave an area and come back, the treasures will, you know, essentially respawn. And the reason why you do that is because at any given time when you enter the Archive Steppe, I believe it's 5 treasures are randomly chosen from, you know, I don't know how many spots there are. I want to say there's, like, we'll just say 25. There might not actually be that many, but there are, you know, a certain amount of treasure locations, and those are static. So it's important to know, or important to memorize, where treasures could possibly be at. But again, you have to remember, though, that there are only 5 generated every time you enter the Archive Steppe. So when you obtain them, obviously there will not be any more there again until you reload the area. And here we've got one up here, and this is kind of why I take this path, because it hits the most amount of possible nodes in a reasonable amount of time. And then obviously you've got the the teleporting. There's a rhodochrosite, so that's another fairly common item. And then again, you've got the teleporter there at the end, just to to zap you back to the entrance, and then you get to run the circuit all over. Now, obviously, you can see here, it's not going to be that exciting. This isn't going to be some crazy fun way to obtain treasures. It gets repetitive, but that being said, it can be very lucrative, I suppose you could say. It can be you can get a good amount of money from this. All right, there's a dusk light dew, and that's one of the I don't know, kind of more rare. The transformation items like cobaltite, millerite, and rhodochrosite, I believe those are all at something like right around the 12% chance. And then, like I said earlier, the more expensive items are generally more rare. But, again, very different way to be able to make money. It's kind of fun. It can be a nice little break from, grinding and whatnot. So, if you like it, go ahead and give it a shot. Now, the other thing is, obviously, with these treasures here, the Chocobo, when you walk into a certain range, the Chocobo will have an exclamation point over their head. And there's another clue that the Chocobo will do for you to let you know that you're close, and that's that he'll kind of face the direction of the treasure. So if you're not sure where a treasure dig point is actually at, you can kind of just move the Chocobo around a little bit, and just kind of look where it's facing, and that'll give you a good clue as to where it's at. So here I know this one is right up here. There we go. So yeah, that is about it. Again, it's a very interesting, kind of fun, different way of making some cash. I kind of liked it. In one of my playthroughs, I spent quite a bit of time doing this, and the last one not as much, but anyways, like I said, it can be kind of fun. So, and a nice little break from kind of like the grind, I suppose you could say. But anyways, all right, that's really all I got. So hopefully this guy was helpful. Hopefully, some people enjoy doing this and can make some decent cash like I did here. But anyways, I'm gonna cut it here. So thanks for watching.